it is 12:05, so we want to get started. I want to say to all of the attendees and all of our presenters, welcome to day 2 of the Newton County School System Apply to College Week. We are super excited. We have a great group of panelists that are here today to share in our Armed Forces Day. So today we'll have virtual presentations from members of various branches of our U.S. military and some colleges here in the state of Georgia. We're super excited that they made time out in their schedules to join us and provide us with some super valuable information. But before we get started, with our panelists, I would like to share just a little bit of information for students, for high school students aspiring to enter into a career into the U.S. military. Things are definitely different this year, of course, due to COVID-19. This year has been a year like none other. So I just want to share that with you. You'll see here on this slide that's present. This is a listing for the local recruiting offices that are near you. Please feel free to take a screenshot or take a picture of this information so that you can follow up with your respective recruiter in your area, especially with respect on information on taking the ASVAB. This year, the ASVAB, it varies based on the base school or school you're attending. And some of you may need to connect directly with the recruiting office to take the ASVAB. Some of you may have it offered at your high school. For example, Alcovey High School today offer an ASVAB test administration. So in order to make sure that you know how the ASVAB will be administered at your respective school, please make sure you follow up with your counseling office to get the details on that. And speaking of ASVAB, I want to share just a little bit of information with you on the ASVAB. Just one second. Just giving a little bit of background, of course, the ASVAB is the test that is required for you to take before you enter into any branch of the U.S. military. Just a couple of quick points we definitely want you to know is that it is not a pass or fail. The result represents how well you've developed your skills in addition to your potential for training. And especially to note, the total time that's required is including all of your administrative tasks and getting everything set up with instruction is roughly about 3 to 4 hours. There are a lot of benefits of taking ASVAB. It's not just about getting into the military. Of course, it actually allows you to explore a variety of career options with respect for students, as well as getting skills and qualifications that you need to meet your career goals. And for the parents that are joining us today, it offers it's a great tool for exploring career options for after high school. It helps you get clear knowledge on how to guide students based on their strengths and also along with what they actually enjoy doing. And especially gives them confidence to know that and navigating the decision-making process of what they're going to do after high school. So very important, a lot of benefits to the ASVAB. Here's a breakdown. I won't go into it in super detail, but please feel free to take a screenshot. For those students that need to take the ASVAB, this is a breakdown of all of the sections, giving you a little bit of a time frame, letting you know just how the format of the test is listed. So I'll give you just a second to take a look at that. And of course, here are a few strategies for taking when you're taking the ASVAB, especially it's a lot of questions, but don't get hung up on trying to answer things that you don't know. You can always return to those later. And that's just one of the key strategies, is not spending too much time on a particular test item that may be a little bit challenging for you. You want to just try to make sure that you try to answer every question. And of course, if you have time when it's done, you always want to review your answer, but make sure that you've selected at least one response on your answer sheet. Okay. You will be able to follow up with the counseling office to get the results of your ASVAB test. That's very, very, very important. So you want to make sure that you're, no matter what school you're attending, that you're in close contact in communication with the counseling office so that you can receive your results. And as you aspire or make plans to take the ASVAB, I want to encourage all of you to visit March to Success. March2success.com is a fantastic website that's designed to help prepare you for ASVAB testing. Going to hop out just really quickly. If I can pull this screen up, here's what the website looks like. And as you'll see, it's a great site to help prepare you for the ASVAB, but not just preparing you for the ASVAB, but it really helps you with career exploration. It really helps you with career exploration, and not only in preparation for a career in the U.S. military, but it also helps you determine maybe what job may be a good fit for you once you've taken the ASVAB and you've enlisted and you're starting your career in the military. So I just wanted to share that bit of information with you on the ASVAB, and we're going to go ahead and get started with our panelists. So if he is ready, Officer Chris Jossert with the Georgia Tech ROTC department, I want to allow you to go ahead and share your screen and share the information that you have with us today.
All right, give me one moment to pull up my screen. All right. Morning, everyone. I'm Lieutenant Jossert. I'm with Georgia Tech Army ROTC. So I'm going to kind of give you a brief overview of the application process for getting a scholarship to go to college, because I know if you're getting ready to apply or if you're looking to apply in the next year or so, you're realizing that tuition is pricey and schooling is not easy to pay for. But the Army is one of the great ways you can. So we offer a scholarship for high school students, specifically high school seniors. You can put in for a Army ROTC scholarship. It is a 4-year scholarship that will either pay for your tuition or your room and board. That decision is up to you when you get the money. So if you find out that your school is more expensive tuition or room and board, you can make that choice and put your money where you need it. The process to apply for this, you're going to need to have your current GPA, your SAT scores, and then you're going to also have to provide your guidance counselor and either PE teacher or a coach and their information. Because when you go in, the Army is going to contact your school, primarily your guidance counselor, to determine your class rank and eligibility academically. So once they get that, then they will contact and reach out for your high school, either PE teacher or coach. And they're going to go ahead and start scheduling you and send you over a physical fitness exam. You're going to have to take that. That's also going to be part of your graded criteria, in addition to your GPA, your SAT, ACT scores, your class rank. So once you've completed those portions of the scholarship process, you will go in and you'll schedule an interview with a PMS at a local Army ROTC unit. So if you're near Tech, you can do it at Tech. I know GSU has a detachment as well, so you can go there and get your interview done there. If you're farther away and there's another school close to you, that's perfectly acceptable. It just has to be a current PMS at any Georgia Tech or any Army ROTC institution. And that interview is primarily going to be your character, your potential. They want to kind of find out and get to know who you are and whether or not they think you'll be a good fit as an officer in the Army. So once they go through that process, you will get scored based off of that interview, and that'll be your last action. And then all of your results will be compiled and sent to Cadet Command, where they'll rank you on a order of merit list. So once you're on that, you don't have to do anything. There are currently 3 boards. One of them is already passed, which is in October. So if there are any juniors, you can get a head up on that next year. But for current seniors, there's still a board in January and March. It is always recommended to put your application in as soon as possible, because if you barely miss the cut on the January board, you'll probably get it in the March board. You won't find out your results until you actually get a letter of acceptance. Once you have that, you have 30 days to let the Army know whether or not you want to take the scholarship offer. And if you do decide to take it, you have to send that letter up. Otherwise, it's automatically rescinded after that 30-day period. If you don't get anything for the January or March board, you'll receive a letter from the Army letting you know that you were not selected for that. But there's still a host of opportunities. If you decide that you still want to do Army ROTC, even if you didn't get the scholarship, when you go to an institution, let's say you come to Tech and you enroll as a student and you enroll in our Army ROTC program, we can start putting you in for a 3-year or 2-year scholarship. So we may not be able to pay for your freshman year, but we can try and pay for your remaining years of school. If you do get accepted for the scholarship, you will have to pass a medical exam that certifies that there are no injuries that would preclude you from service or any medical histories. If you've been in an accident, injured yourself, or if you have a history of any of the underlying conditions. Don't let that stop you. If you think you have a medical condition, apply, because there are a lot of medical conditions out there that it says you can't join with that medical condition, but there are plenty of waivers out there and we can get you working on one of those. So please don't feel if you see one piece of documentation that says you can't join with certain medical conditions, ask, find out, because that may be a waiverable condition. In addition to that, you will have to take a physical fitness test. Currently, we're in between on those. So we were using the APFT, which was a 2-mile run, push-ups, and sit-ups event. Right now, we're using a push-up event based off of the new ACFT, which is a hand release push-up, the 2-minute plank, and then a 2-mile run based off of the ACFT's run standard. So it is a 21-minute 2-mile to pass. It's really, if you are a senior this year, this is one of the greatest years if you're struggling physically to push in and try and get that working, because once you're in the program, we can help you build that up. And with the new 2-mile standard, you're not having any of the events that the ACFT has, which really are the reasons why that 2-mile standard is a lot slower than what it used to be. So there are a host of opportunities over here. Once you get into the program, if you have a contract and a scholarship offer, you will sign a contract, and that's where you'll get your term of service, how many years. And as you go through the program, you'll learn more about the Army, and you can start figuring out what jobs you want with the Army and proceed from there. Unlike when you go in initially in enlisting, where you can pick your job up front, so you have to do your research prior to that. This one, you can get a taste of the Army, understand what it is, and prior to signing that contract, you have no obligation to serve. So you can go ahead and go through that and figure out, by tasting what the Army is like, what job you want, and then you only decide where you want to go in your junior year on whether or not you still want to do infantry like you did freshman year, or if you like finance now or any other job, and then you'll go ahead and put it in. So you'll have a bit of time to experience what the Army's like and see what you really want to do. But that's all I have. If you guys have any questions for me, let me know. If I don't have the answer, I'll give you my email. Just email me the question and I'll try and get that info back to you as soon as possible. Thank you, Mr. Whittle, for letting me present.
All right. Thank you so much, Officer Josser. Thank you very, very much. And next, we want to keep going. We want to bring up Georgia Military College next. I think we have Mr. Brian Hamilton, who's going to share some information with us about Georgia Military College.
Yeah, can you see the slide?
Yes.
Okay, we are, as the lieutenant was talking about, Army ROTC is pretty well standardized across the board. And basically what you have is, we have several programs. We run the ROTC program as probably as Georgia Tech does. We run the ROTC programs here at Georgia Military College. We're also responsible for the ROTC program at 3 schools in Macon: Mercer University, which is a 4-year university STEM private school, Middle Georgia, and Wesleyan, which is a women's college. And we also run the ROTC program at Georgia College, which is here in Milledgeville. So we have the 4-year programs along with Georgia Military College. Georgia Military College is the host school and the kind of the focus. We're a military junior college, so we're a 2-year program. It is called the Early Commissioning Program, and it exists in 4 schools in the United States. Now, Georgia Military College is pretty straightforward as a program in the state here. We, let me get this going. We have a number of different programs within our Corps cadets in all military schools, because there's several of them. There's University of North Georgia, of course, here in Georgia. There's us. There's several other military colleges around the United States. They have but they're a combination is they're a college with a Corps cadets. Our Corps cadets made up of different groups. Really, ones I'm going to focus on are the athletes. We have collegiate athlete programs, football, men and women's soccer, men and women's cross country, men and women's golf, a rifle shooting team, and a women's softball team. And then we also do the Ranger Challenge, which is like the college for the process. We're a service academy prep program. This is where these are students that have applied to one of the academies and didn't quite get, were just below the cut line. The academy sends them here to for 1 year, one of the prep programs. They come here for 1 year, and if they do well, they'll move on to the academy the following fall, which includes, we have West Point, Coast Guard, Navy, and Air Force Academy program students here. We got over 50. If they do well this year, they will be in the academy, one of these academies, come fall of this next fall. We're a little over 90% success rate there in the way of getting these students into the academies. We have the early commissioning program. This is the Army ROTC program. We bring students in here. They do 2 years here, complete their associate's degree, commission second lieutenant and guard reserve, move on to a 4-year school to do their junior, senior year as a lieutenant and guard reserve. And at their senior year in college, if they are competitive, they then will compete for active duty. Most of our students do say guard reserve, but we do have students getting active duty. That's the Army ROTC commissioning. The next group is the Georgia National Guard, Air National Guard for the Georgia, here in Georgia State, in the state of Georgia. These are students that have scholarships that are in the Georgia Guard, basic and AIT, qualified, or Air National Guard that come here and come under a scholarship here into the program. And they have a 2-year scholarship here to go to school and receive their associate's degree. These are the requirements for an Army ROTC scholarship. This is nationwide requirements, but again, you got to meet the school requirements to get in, and it's competitive. You compete at the national board, as the lieutenant talked about. It is a competitive process, and your board records go before a board, and you're evaluated against other students who are applying and the availability of the scholarships. It's based on merit and based on availability of scholarships. A minimum of 2.5 or higher GPA on the 4.0 scale, unweighted. SAT, critical reading and math, 1,000 or better. Or ACT, composite, 19 or better. We do super score. That means if you have multiple tests, we'll lay those down and we add up the scores, and that comes your score. U.S. citizen, minimum age 17, as Lieutenant talked about, medically qualified, as there are conditions that can keep people out of military services. Every year we have students medically disqualified, and the majority of them do get medical waivers, but there are occasions that do not. Physical standards, you got to meet the Army height weight standards based on the Army regulations. And as you mentioned, pass the fitness test. Approved active major and set by the school. If you meet these requirements, you meet our requirements for scholarships. 95% of our scholarships are processed in-house here for the Army ROTC program at Georgia Military College. Basically, if you have an interest, what I would say is that, contact me. Our associate's degrees, there's 26 majors. I'm not really going to go into it. You can go online to the GMC website and see this. It gives you all the information about the associate's degrees. My contact information is here. If you're interested in following our cadets and what they do in the training, we have a Facebook page you can like down there listed, and an Instagram. You can follow what the students are doing. Our cadets posted this, not some old person like myself doing that. That's cadets that do that. And our application process we do in-house, and the Corps Cadets also has an Instagram page and a Facebook page. So if you're interested in following and seeing what we're doing, we're out there. And that is basically all I have. That's it.
Sorry about that. I think I was on mute. Thank you, Mr. Hamilton. We really appreciate you sharing that information with us on Georgia Military College. And if you're able to hang out after the presentations have concluded, we're going to stick around and answer as many questions as possible from all of our attendees. All right, next we have Mr. Nicholas Rossi. And I'm going to bring him on so that he can share the information from his presentation.
Righty. Morning, everybody. Name's, as Mr. Woodall said, my name is Nicholas Rosie, and I am the Assistant Director with the University of North Georgia ROTC Department. So UNG, you're lucky as living in Georgia because you have access to kind of all three levels of ROTC. You have traditional ROTC, which Lieutenant Jossart mentioned. You've got the Junior Military College, which Mr. Hamilton mentioned at GMC. And then you've got North Georgia, which is a senior military college, just kind of, a different category than the other two, but nothing better or worse about them. Just, some people have a different thing. So a little bit about me. My name is Nick Rosie, as Mr. Woodall said. My military career started in 2007 when I originally enlisted in the Georgia Army National Guard. And then I attended North Georgia on the Georgia Military Scholarship, which I'll mention in just a minute. After I finished North Georgia, my 4 years in this program, I commissioned into the Georgia Army National Guard and went military intelligence. And I'm still a officer in the Georgia Army National Guard now. I'm a captain. So I do know what it's like to be in this program, go through it, and then also what it's like to be a little bit of time in the military in the back end. So just to kind of talk about North Georgia as a whole, we are a public university here in the state of Georgia. We're a traditional four-year college, and we have just shy of 20,000 students in our university spread over 5 different campuses. The Corps of Cadets, though, what we're talking about today, is located in Dahlonega, Georgia, which is that picture there on the left of the presentation, and has about 7,000 students at that campus. And of those 7,000 students, though, our Corps of Cadets is roughly 750. So the vast majority of our student body is actually regular traditional college students, but we still have the largest Army ROTC program in the nation outside of West Point with 750 cadets. So it's definitely an awesome program. Being a senior military college, it is a full-time Army program. We wear uniforms every single day. We live and breathe an Army lifestyle. We live in cadet dormitories, but you're still a student at the University of North Georgia, and you have access to all the things students can do: clubs, sports, Greek life, and all that stuff that comes with a regular university experience. But you also have this full-time cadet experience as well, working toward potentially an Army career. Just going to skip past this slide. So at North Georgia, we've got 2 different paths for our cadets. We have the commissioning path, whereas if you're wanting to be in the program with an intention of having an Army career as an officer, you go down the commissioning path. The other path is called the National Service Leadership Track, and that's for those cadets who want to be in our program but do not want to serve in the military, or medically they cannot. That's what the National Service Leadership Track is. So looking at this 2-path method, the nice thing about it is you don't have to make the decision on which path you go down until the end of your sophomore year. And so you have 2 full years in our program to decide, hey, do I want to pursue a military career, or do I just want to be in ROTC in college and take the leadership skills from it? Or you always have the option of just being a regular student at the University of North Georgia, have nothing to do with the military program. That's up to you at the end, though. So what we're looking for at North Georgia is 3 big things: scholar, athlete, leader. I'll let you kind of look over the requirements there, but this model pretty much sums up everything about you. Obviously, your grades and your test scores are the most important. For seniors this year, we are going SAT, ACT optional. So if you're a senior, you're looking to apply to North Georgia, you wouldn't have to take the SAT or ACT to get into our program, although we still recommend it because the scholarships I'll talk about in just a minute still require it. We're also looking for potential cadets who are physically fit, and then also looking for people who are leaders or want to become leaders. We don't expect you to be Captain America day 1 in our program. That's what we're there to build you into. But we do expect you to have that goal in front of you of being a leader and kind of stepping up to the plate. So typical day for a cadet, I'll just kind of run through this. You can see it there. But like I said, it's a full-time military program. So we have, first call, we wake up at 6:15. We have PT in the morning, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But most of the day is yours for academics, as you can see that. We have a lab period Monday afternoons where you get that hands-on training. And then we have a study period for first semester cadets in the evening, just so you can focus on your grades. But although you have this schedule as a cadet, again, you're still a full-time student at North Georgia, and you're given a lot of free time during the day and in the evenings to pursue a regular college experience, whether it's Greek life, whether it's sports, whether it's clubs, if you got to work a part-time job, all that's allowed and available to you as a cadet at North Georgia, while also having this full-time military lifestyle. So like I mentioned before, as a cadet, you have access to everything. Over 250 clubs and organizations here at North Georgia you can be a part of. And there's just a couple of them there. But again, we don't take away that traditional college experience. You actually get to have a hybrid program between that full-time military experience and then that college students. You're not sacrificing that college experience or the college education in order to get a military program. You really get the best of both worlds here at UNG. And then beyond that, within the Corps of Cadets, we do have specific cadet organizations that only cadets are allowed to join. I kind of just run through these real quick. Patriot Choir is an all-cadet choir. The Color Guard, they present the colors, they present the flags at ceremonies and parades. Blue Ridge Rifles is a drill team. They're the ones that spin rifles, throw them, toss them, all that fun stuff in competitions. Mountain Order Colombo is a mountaineering organization. They teach mountain warfare training, survival skills. The Aggressor Platoon teaches small unit tactics, Ranger, Army Ranger, Special Forces tactics. Golden Eagle Band is our marching band. We have 2 different shooting teams on campus, and then we have Ranger Challenge, which is a best soldier skills competition where our cadets compete against other colleges, other ROTC programs, and the service academies and competitions. Beyond being a cadet, again, you're still a student, and we encourage our cadets to be students. One of those is study abroad. We want our cadets to study abroad. We give them time. There's scholarships to study abroad, and there's language programs that we pursue. Not going to spend too much time on this, but the point is we don't lock down your life. We don't make you do exactly 4 years in this program. We don't take your summers away from you. You're free to kind of pursue that traditional college education, including the study abroad aspect. Just a quick thing in the majors, we have 60 degrees that cadets can choose from at North Georgia. The nice thing about our program is we don't have any specific majors that cadets have to do. And if you're looking at a military career, the Army doesn't care what major you have. You can pursue any one of these degrees, whatever you're passionate about, and still have that career in the Army open as an option to you. So then moving on to scholarships and grants, there's 2 big scholarships at North Georgia. I'm not going to spend any time talking about the ROTC scholarship because Lieutenant Jossart and Mr. Hamilton already touched on that enough. It's the same scholarship at North Georgia. The one we do have that's unique to us is called the Georgia Military Scholarship. That's right here. That is actually a full ride scholarship. It pays every single penny for all 4 years to come to North Georgia, but it requires you to be in the National Guard while you're a cadet, and afterward it requires you to commission into the Georgia Army National Guard. But it pays for everything, 100%. It's an awesome scholarship. It is competitive, but if you're sitting there thinking, hey, I can't pay for school, so there's no way I'm going to college, there's a full ride right there. It's not terribly hard to get. Other benefits include, if you're a Georgia resident, you get an extra $1,500 just to be a cadet in our program every year. And then if you sign a commissioning contract to be an officer, the Army is going to pay you an extra $420 a month stipend. So there's a lot of money out there to be had, a lot of money that's available. There's even more than what's on this slide. If you want to know more, get really in depth, reach out to us. The biggest thing, over half of our cadets are on one of these major scholarships, either ROTC or GMS. So your chances of getting one are actually pretty high. You saw the minimums for the ROTC scholarship 2.5, GMS is 3.0. So they're not terribly competitive to get. And like I said, over half of our cadets are on one of these major scholarships and not having to pay for school. Some things that are unique to UNG. I said the Georgia grant. We have a cybersecurity degree as well. So if you're into cyber, we have a very good cyber program. We have a summer language institute. If you like strategic languages, you can come here during the summer and actually learn strategic language. And then our leadership program is modeled completely after the Army itself, which we find very unique because we don't follow the academy model. We follow the Army model. Check out the Corps of Cadets. These 2 opportunities we're hoping to have back up in the spring. National Leadership, which is like an adventure weekend here in Dahlonega run by the Corps of Cadets. And then the Cadet Overnight Visit Experience, which is an overnight visit with the Corps during the week. Both of those are suspended just because of the coronavirus, but hopefully we're going to have those in the spring. And if we do, we'll let everybody know about that. That kind of wraps up about North Georgia, though. I'll let the other speakers get to it without wasting too much time. But if you have questions, please look us up. You can see our website there on the bottom, or shoot us an email or give us a phone call. We'd be happy to help you out and get your questions answered. We're doing on-campus tours, so come on up and give us a visit. All right, Mr. Woodall, that's all I have. Thank you for the opportunity.